What is this?
We're done with Boston.
Aw, come on, you guys don't give me no cigarette?
It's Pittsburgh time.
It's-
You broke it.
Yeah, this is our last show. We're
Look at what you did.
our fan side's coming out a little bit more.
Everyone, this is the Power Play. We are back.
This is the Bruins show 24/7.
There we go. We've changed. For the final hour of the show, Chris gets to talk about Boston.
No.
We have a very serious issue right now, guys. Let's talk about the Columbus and the Penguins. Is it trouble time? Is it the Heinz trouble time?
Heinz trouble time.
Trying to get some sponsorship here.
Okay.
So Daisy can be her YouTube partner. We can trying to raise some funds here.
Do you have to pay YouTube to be a partner, or do they pay you? I don't really know.
I feel like you have to pay them. Nothing's free these days.
All right. Well.
Anyway.
Moving on. Back to hockey, which is why we're all here. Again, sassy pants. What was that? No comment. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I think the most talked about series in the East right now has got to be the Penguins and the Blue Jackets. Primarily because I don't think anybody expected the series to go the way that it has. When I was making my predictions before the playoffs started, I picked... Well, actually, when we made our predictions, we thought we were going to be playing Detroit. Or that the Penguins are going to be playing Detroit. So, in that series, I had picked Detroit to win. So, kind of retracting back before the series started, I would have gone with the Penguins in this. By probably I was expecting them to go maybe 4-2 against go 6 games against Columbus, but still win the series. But the way it's looking, I will not be surprised in the least if it goes to a full 7-game series.
That's the way it's looking right now. Columbus was obviously struggling to get their first win in the playoffs, but they got that victory, which was one thing which I think they were all trying to get. You only have your first victory once, and I feel like it was such a big occasion for them. Games 3 and 4 have been interesting, to say the least.
Games 3 and 4 have pretty much, from the fan side of me, they've been haunting my dreams a little bit because the Blue Jackets are really starting to kind of... They're really scaring a lot of Penguins fans right now. The way that they came out the other night, Penguins came out 3-0 lead. They came out very strong in the first period of Game 4. And, I was sitting there, and of course, I'm constantly on my Twitter during these kind of games, and I was kind of in that point where I was like, oh, wait, Columbus has an NHL team? Oh, since when? But it totally proved me wrong coming back in the second and third period, and the other thing is
disgusting.
Yeah. And they've been calling it the dreaded 3-1 lead because and for both teams, whoever has the 3-1 lead has actually lost that game. The Penguins did it to the Blue Jackets on Monday, and then the Jackets turned around and did it to the Penguins on Wednesday.
It's the most dangerous lead you can have in hockey and in most sports. You hear the 2-goal... It's almost like the 2-goal curse because you can't sit back because you only have 2 goals ahead. But at the same time, if you keep pushing for those offensive chances, you're probably going to give up a defense. You're going to give up an offensive chance to the other team because you're pushing as hard as you are usually. It's something which both these teams haven't handled well. I don't know whether it's just poor coaching or just poor player mentality, but. Even when the Penguins were up 3-0 in that, I'm like, there's been 3 games where the team's been up by 2 goals and they've lost, and it turns out it was 4, and there's no safe lead in this series.
No, this series could really go either way, and unfortunately, that's kind of been the theme of the Penguins' playoff runs for the past couple seasons. Last year they took on the Islanders in the first round, and the Islanders gave them a run for their money. There were a lot of Penguins fans sweating that series until the Penguins kind of got their game together, and then they were able to pull through. But personally, I was kind of relieved, I guess you could say, when they announced that the Pens were going to play the Blue Jackets in the first period, just because all of the odds were in the Penguins' favor. The Jackets had not played a lot of playoff games as a franchise. They had never won a playoff game as a franchise. And you have a team like the Penguins coming in, the higher seed. Almost all of their top starting players have been in playoff situations before, and a lot of them are cup winners. So on paper, it looked like the winner was going to be very clear of this series, but, you know, I'm kind of glad that it's a little bit more interesting than everyone thought it was going to be, because that's what makes it fun to watch.
I don't know if it's interesting or just nerve-wracking, but one question
It could be both.
I wanted to bring up, it's obviously been a heated issue since the last game on Wednesday?
Yeah.
I don't even know what day it is
Oh,
today.
no, it was Wednesday, because I remembered that both of the games that the Penguins won, I was down at the big screen, and both of the games that they lost, I
We
was
were there on
sitting on my...
Monday.
Yeah,
It
Monday.
must be a lucky charm.
We just need to go to the big screen for every game now, because they've won both times I've been
Yeah,
down
they
there.
lost when I did my backwoods big screen up at home.
Yeah, well...
It was cold. It was even with the fire. But anyways, my question that I want to pose to you two, because it's obviously been pretty disputed over social media the past few days, no matter what day it actually was. Marc-Andre Fleury, do I need to say any more?
Oh, that's still a goal he gave up.
Yeah.
He's one of those goaltenders. I almost put him in the same bracket as Luongo.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have great goaltending out of him for most of the regular season, and then it comes to the postseason, and you have more question marks than Katie has on her exams.
Whoa.
Oh, it's just, I don't know. Like he looks he looks good, and then he just gives up those soft goals. He gave the soft goals against Philadelphia the prior week in the second last game of the regular season, and he gives up those soft goals, which you just can't give him the benefit of the doubt. And you can have your attention on for 59 minutes and 59 seconds, but in that 1 second, if you let in a soft goal, it changes the momentum and it changes the game. And that goal which he gave up in Game 4 could be the turning point of the series.
Well, I'm leaving now because of that. Just kidding. No, I guess I have to say I disagree with you a little bit. I mean, yeah, it was a soft goal. There's no reason that he should have been out of the net in that situation, and there's no way that the Blue Jackets should have scored on that.
Absolutely not.
And that is not excusable in his part. But I've heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, here we go again. Fleury choked. You know, he's like, let's bring in Zakhoff. Let's call up Vokoun." I don't think you can say that he has choked or he is choking in the playoffs right now, because Fleury has played very, very well up until that goal. He played a solid first 3 games, and he played a solid 19 minutes in that third period, and it's kind of a shame that bad 2-second lapse of judgment is what's going to overshadow his style of play throughout the series so far, and it could be the turning point of the series that ultimately may be Pittsburgh's demise. But last year he definitely choked. I will say last year he choked because there was a series of just bad situations, and it was a multiple game thing. But what if that had happened in the regular season? What if he let in one of those soft goals, you know? And I understand there's a lot more riding on that goal in that game in the playoffs than just in the regular season. But personally, you can't say that he is falling apart just because of that one bad goal that he let in.
I'm not saying he's falling apart, but you can't have that from your goaltender. I don't care whether it's Fleury who wins you 45 games in the regular season. When it comes down to the playoffs, you need 60 minutes of goaltending every game for a 7-game series. For 7 games, you need it every minute.
And I agree.
I know that everyone's like, "Oh, well, he's been a good goaltender. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt." You just can't do that to your team, and that's what he's been doing the last couple of years. Is he's been good, but he's had those moments, and it's an issue.
Yeah, and it really has been. You know, that's my first thought. As soon as I saw him leave the net and go behind to try and play the puck, one, he does that a lot. He leaves the blue paint a lot. And every time he does it, whether there's opposing players on their end or not, it still freaks me out as a fan. And in that specific situation, I cannot venture a guess as to why he left the net with all those attackers coming on, especially since Columbus had already pulled their goaltender and they had an extra attacker. So that's kind of the same as coming out of the net on a power play like that. And when you got 30 seconds left in the game, you're up by a goal. All the Pens had to do was defend. And yeah, that was just a terrible, terrible lapse of judgment on his part. But here's my question, because we were talking about this earlier during one of our breaks whenever we were off, but if that is the turning point and the Pens cannot rebound from that and come back and win the series, do you think that is going to play into the whole situation we have with Bylsma still staying head coach?
I don't know. It's as simple as that. Fleury is too good of a goaltender to just simply trade away. As far as Bylsma's job security, I'm going to have to think about that over this break we're about to have on WDSR. This is the power play.
Whoa, look at that.
Look at that. That is smooth. That is a professional right there. So I will see you,
God. We not only
all
have
listeners,
sassy
over the
pants
break.
on, we've got...
This is the power play. This is Chris, Daisy, and Katie. And I'm going to have to handle this in the studio. See you guys later.